Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. Hope you all are doing well. As you can see, I'm sweating like crazy already. It's not even noon yet and it's 93 degrees in Chicago already. It's super humid, very hot in the garage today. But good news is we are in the garage because finally we have our new engine. I've been waiting for this guy so that I can drop it in and start to make some progress and get this car running, because Honda meets in like less than a month, I think, and clearly I have no engine in the car. A little backstory about this engine right here. I was in talks with my good friend Charlie. As you all know, he does the valve covers, engine building, all that stuff. And I told him I'm gonna need to get this guy rebuilt from him because this thing was burning about 4 quarts of oil every track weekend. The engine's old, it's tired, and I just needed to get it refreshed. I wanted it to stay stock power levels because I really wanted to focus on driving. But Charlie said, you know what, hold on to that motor as a spare just in case. And I'm going to build you a completely new B-Series engine. Initially, it was going to be just a stock refresh, but it got a little bit out of hand. Now we have a B20 bottom end with the GSR head, which is nice because then I can just use my old intake manifold and everything else on it. But it's a little bit different from this motor because the internals are a little bit spiced up. So you got just shy of 13-to-1 compression. Cylinder head has been completely redone. It's been ported. It's got dual valve springs, retainers. It's got Skunk 2 Pro Series 2 cams. I got the cam gears as well. This thing is ready to make some power. High compression B20 VTEC with a built head and cams. So the whole initial plan of staying stock power levels is kind of out the window now. Because of the super high compression, we are going to have to run E85 now, which I have all the parts for. I've got the new AEM E85 compatible fuel pump, got a new fuel rail, pressure regulator, all that good stuff to be able to support the E85 conversion on this motor. And Charlie was also nice enough to supply me with some 600cc Injector Nation injectors to go with this. I'm super happy to finally see the engine here. I mean, it's going to be a powerhouse. Everything's refreshed on it. It's got a new VTEC oil pump, new tensioner, timing belt, all that. Everything is brand new and it's fresh and it's ready to just get beat on the track. I really can't wait for that to happen. This relationship I have with Charlie is really nice. It's kind of a you scratch my back, I scratch your back. I really wish that I had more room in here so I can just get his car in here and wrench on his car and get his cars ready for him in exchange for everything that he's done for me. But Charlie, you're an awesome dude. Thank you so much for all of your help, your guidance, your mentorship. Ever since I got into this crazy world of, you know, road racing, HPDE and all this stuff, you've been a significant part of not just the car world and car life that I have, but my personal life as well. So I really, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for everything. So I have today and tomorrow off of work, and the goal for those 2 days is to start transferring everything from my old motor over to the new motor. So valve cover, intake manifold, all the sensors, everything else that this motor doesn't have. So we'll be focusing on that and getting it just prepped and ready to make the trans split, which is right over there, and then get it ready to get thrown up into the car, which is sleeping right up there. All right, got the intake manifold off of the old motor, of the new motor, prepped and ready to go for the intake manifold. But first, before we really do anything, I have to install this LSVTEC or B20 VTEC conversion kit. So now we have a GSR head with a non-VTEC bottom end. We got to be able to supply oil pressure to the head to activate VTEC. So I got this relatively inexpensive VTEC conversion kit from Zerg Industries. Got the sandwich plate and the line and the fittings. Don't even really need everything in here because Charlie did most of the work. I just need the sandwich plate and the line and the fittings to go into the head, and that's pretty much it. So before installing the intake manifold, I'll go ahead and install the sandwich plate and the fitting into the head. Then we'll install the intake manifold and then run the oil line. And that should be it for at least getting the manifold onto the engine. And then from there, we'll be installing all of the new fuel components that I have in the ground there. Fuel rail for pressure regulator, all those types of goodies. Oh, and the injectors, which are right up there. making some progress. I've got the intake manifold on and the fuel system components in. Got the AEM fuel rail there. Got the AEM Honda fuel pressure regulator. I got a grams fuel pressure gauge. And then Injector Nation 600cc injectors are also installed. Other than that, I've got my hoses routed. Here's my bypass. Got my heater hoses capped off. And then I've got coolant burning from the intake manifold to the throttle body, to the IAC, and then back down to the water pipe behind. There's all the VTEC sandwich plates. The oil line ran up to the head. Up next, I'll probably just transfer the alternator over from that motor there, and then I can go ahead and attach the VTEC solenoid on this end. Alright, I got the old motor, basically everything that I need to transfer over to the new motor. Last bits is the radiator hoses and the clutch and flywheel, which we're going to put this up on a dolly. Charlie says he's going to get me another valve cover, so kind of excited to see what he's going to show up with. But that's just to at least keep the elements out of the engine for now. But we're going to get this thrown up on a dolly and then swap the flywheel and clutch over. It is ridiculously hot out right now. I think my watch is telling me it's 100 degrees outside and the garage is saying 105, which is insane. Hard to just like stay focused and keep working, but we're gonna get through this. We're gonna get through this. So just a little update on things that I need to get to finish this up. Got the valve cover on just temporarily. Got the spark plug tubes covered up. I still have to get spark plugs. I will have to get a new alternator belt because this crank pulley for the B20 is a lot bigger than the GSR, so my old alternator belt won't work. I ended up ordering a brand new valve cover gasket because I need the grommets, and I ordered brand new nuts as well for the valve cover hardware. Distributor is actually sitting up in the car. That'll go on probably after the engine is installed. So once the clutch and flywheel are swapped over, then at that point I think the trans can get mated to it, and then it's pretty much ready to go into the car. Alright, so for some reason I lost my clutch alignment tool. This is one for like an Acura K-series maybe, but the end here, the OD, is too big to fit into the pilot bearing here. So I'm getting a little creative working with sockets here. Found out this 10mm socket fits perfectly right into the pilot bearing, and then this 17mm socket fits perfectly into the splines of the clutch disc, and the 10mm socket just so happens to fit inside the 17mm socket. So if we do this right, we should be able to get it aligned properly, just like that. All right, I think that's pretty darn close. So if you're ever in a pinch, 3/8 drive 10mm socket for the pilot bearing, and then 1/2" drive 17mm socket for the clutch disc, and that should actually be lined up pretty darn good. Got the clutch and flywheel swapped over. I think I'm content with where I'm at. Tomorrow we'll start again by mounting the transmission onto the engine, hopefully, and then getting that ready to drop into the car. So with that said, I'm tired, I'm worn out, it is hot. Even with this fan blowing on me, I just cannot take it. We're at a really good stopping point for the engine. Made some really good progress on it. I'm really happy. Tomorrow we'll pick up again. Hopefully it's a little bit cooler tomorrow, but I'm gonna go ahead and just start cleaning up. Clearly this is gonna be a multi-step process, so a little bit of progress here and there. We're going to try to knock out as much as we can. So if you guys like the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and if you guys want to stay up to date with this and getting this into the car up there, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And like I said before, go ahead and share the video if you'd like. It would really help the channel out. But until next time, stay safe, stay smooth, and I'll see you guys in the next video.